The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Tonight, Connecticut gets its first accumulating snowfall in certain parts of the state. Now, there's some people that are going to be annoyed by that, but it's almost the end of November, in case y'all forgot. Winter has to happen sometime. We've been kind of spoiled by some of the unseasonably warm temperatures that have defined this autumn, and some of the great weather we've had as the drought has continued here in New England. But there's been some rain here and there, so weather folks are really happy. However, when I decided to quit being a lazy ass, I went over to Walmart and picked up some of this stuff. This is rubber weather stripping, and it's made for doors. See, it has a little bit of stagnant air there, which serves as a little bit of a barrier against airflow. This stuff is supposed to go under a door, or somehow it's supposed to work with a doorway or something like that. However, once I saw the shape, the first thing I thought of was, you know how many times I felt air under the trim at the edges of this room? Because the floor is not entirely even. So I picked up a bunch of this, cut out bits and pieces where necessary, in order if there was something that it was hitting when I was trying to insert it under the trim, and I should do quite a bit to plug a source of airflow in this room from the part of the house and the side of the house that gets quite a bit of wind. So yeah, I have to go back and buy some more of these things to keep doing this, because the remaining piece isn't long enough for anything. So I'm going to keep it as an extra piece to cut off bits and pieces of if something I get is too short. But check out how nice that blends in. I also, of course, cleaned off the trim. I cleaned off the trim, and I did some. I cleaned off the trim, and I didn't even need a damp sponge. I just used paper towels. Everything in this house wipes clean. It's amazing. It's the easiest place to keep clean that I've ever lived in, which says quite a bit about those folks that were booted out of here for trashing the heck out of their place. You really gotta put some effort into trashing a place like this. I could just stick the vacuum robot on what's left, or heck, quit being a lazy ass and sweep. Look at how, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that this is brand new, and therefore whiter than the ivory white the landlord used for the paint, you'd think it was part of the trim itself. But it's a little bit newer, so it's gonna have to get a little bit weathered before it starts blending in. So I gotta get some more rolls of this stuff so I can go along the sides in the other rooms and other areas where I've had cold feet in the mornings. But this will definitely give me some bang for buck, because I felt some air coming in through here time and again and again. And we'll save this piece, of course, for extras if I buy one and it's not long enough and we need a little bit more in order to cover the whole wall. Great stuff to work with. You just cut it down to size, and if there is something under the trim that the thing's hitting, you just cut out the middle piece. As long as the air bubble is still there, as long as that little air bubble is still there, then you've got it. Not bad for weather stripping made for doors, you think? The next thing to figure out is, where can I have a nice winter home for the air conditioner? This kind of sat on the floor out in the open for the first couple of months when I first came here. Looks like if I put it on its side, it might roll into the bottom of this closet, then I'll put some cloth on top of it or something so it doesn't get damaged too much by stuff stacked on top of it. However, notice how if I can get the flashlight here working properly.
Epic fail.
Apparently not without making the camera shut off, but notice how the flooring changes. Now, some of the gas technicians that have done some work in this place told me this place used to be a dump. The flooring was peeling up and everything. I wonder if this is what the old flooring was. We come into this darn closet here, and then look at that. For those magical moments when what you bought doesn't fit, huh? Joey, the cut-rate contractor. Does give me an idea just how thin the walls are in this place, though. That's supposed to be wall, huh? Is that even wood? Look at this. Fortunately, this isn't a critter entrance of any sort, because you put the camera directly on the floor and shine a light in there, as fuzzy as it's going to be because of using an LED flashlight, there's nowhere for critters to come in. It's literally just the piece of wood that makes up this wall wasn't long enough, so they just left a gap. See? Look, there's the wall. There's the wall on the other side. There's nothing really that can happen here. Oh, the house that Jack built. Gotta love it. Not only does it fit, but there's room for stuff on the side. And that's where the keyboard case comes in, to cover up the air conditioner, so that something stacked on top of it doesn't really do too much in terms of damage. But anyways, yep, nice winter home for the air conditioner in this tiny little coat closet. There we go. Heavy on the bottom, light on the top. What air conditioner? There we go. For tonight, I'll use that extra piece for the largest gap on the floor over here. See how much of a difference it makes. I'm also going to go over the windows with the rope caulk for little one-off things. This stuff's basically clay because it's been sitting around for nearly a year. So, about time I got around to some of this stuff. It'd probably get help during the summer with making the air conditioning more efficient as well. Well, at least the walls are caulked. I'll give the landlord credit for that. But this gap down by the floor, by the trim, I've been feeling air going through there the whole time I've been here. So I'm going to make some more trips to Walmart and eventually have something that goes the entire length of the trim. Likewise, I got to get some of this stuff for the main area as well. Fun stuff. Well, it's winter, but this would also benefit in the summertime too, with keeping the air conditioning from being too expensive as well. So I'm sure some of you are probably asking right now, how is any of this relevant to any of the technical stuff? Well, here's the thing. The bedroom is a warm-up for the main room out here, so all of this furniture is going to come away from the wall, and then that stuff is going to go under that trim as well. So I'm going to need to clean things up, reorganize a few things, and all kinds of other stuff like that in order to get at the wall properly in the first place. Big problem I have is that stuff doesn't have homes, so I'm thinking a combination of Sterilite drawers and plastic zip bags. It's something we'll go into more detail on later on, but I'm thinking Sterilite drawers and plastic zip bags for everything. I actually just saw in Target the other day, there's a Sterilite cabinet, quote unquote. It almost feels like real furniture, even the way the drawers glide out when you open them. It costs less than real furniture, it's plastic, so it doesn't really kind of be a little on the tacky side. But the thing is, it would be easy to move, and that's what I'm going for here. If I want to leave this place, I want it to be easy to move, with as little help as possible. Because, quite frankly, it is a renter's economy. You have to be able to move at a moment's notice, especially a guy like me. Business background, I can end up being a corporate nomad at any given moment, so, especially if we have another recession. So ultimately, I remember how awful it was to move from the last place. I've learned my lesson about baby boomer style, way too much clutter. So, decluttering has been an overarching theme lurking over my head the whole time that I've been living here. So, anyways, this is going away. I want to know what's in it, I want it all sorted out, and I want something to put that in. So I'll probably end up with some kind of Sterilite things on wheels or something that can be wheeled out of the way if I want to move them or something along those lines. Get some Sterilite things on wheels to do everything here, and have everything have its home and know where everything is, maybe even label stuff, because I mean, a label maker to plastic isn't like, slapping labels on a piece of wooden furniture. Something else I had in mind is these curtains, these tacky curtains. They look like Walmart curtains, like the thermals or something that I brought over from my old place. The black ones did come over from the old place, but these blue ones, as you can see, aren't long enough to cover the window properly. Now, one of the things I want to do with the double curtains is have them function as blankets for the windows, kind of like those plastic window kits that seal things up in the wintertime. As you can see, the curtains just barely touch the windowsill. They're not what this place needs. I do like the color scheme though. I like the white and the blue. And it looks even better when it doesn't look so stupid, because I head over and I turn on the overhead lights. Once that warms up, actually, let's go over to... Let's turn on the other one as well. Pardon the wall. We turn on the boob lights. And when we turn on the boob lights, eventually things start looking very, very cottage-like, especially when we can get some light in here, maybe some sunlight creeping in through the bottom of the curtains like when I first moved in. The Welcome to Jay's Geekhouse video from last year has some interesting examples of that. But this place, I think, even though the color is off, the paint is more of an ivory white than a neutral white, I think white and blue is what I want to go with here. Plus, as crazy as it may sound, I wonder if it's possible to have curtains double as a blue screen. Actually, I am throwing around some ideas. If I can rearrange this such that I can access these double windows, I'm actually thinking of draping a sheet off of these windows here to regain some kind of blue screen capability, which is something I haven't had since the old place. The big thing I don't want to do, I don't want to put any holes in the walls. This place is in better shape than the Geek Suite ever was. And I want to keep it that way. I mean, we've just seen a horrible hoarder tenant all but destroy a place. And if you consider if it was furnished like this, with this clear-coated paint and stuff, where nearly everything just wipes clean with a damp sponge or even a worn-out duster, it took some serious negligence in order to trash that place. I mean, this guy obviously knows his business. He knows he's going to get bum tenants that don't keep things clean. So this place is made to be so easily cleanable that when they're gone, he can flip the place. So it's something that I'll have to figure out. But I have felt in the wintertime air coming under that trim. So plugging that should do quite a bit for the drafts, as well as the problems with the heat being up in the air, but then down on the ground your feet are still cold. But that's what the down fan's for, because of the way the furnace works. The furnace is a couple of feet off the floor, so the heat never has a chance to go down lower than where it comes out the top of the furnace. So that's what's going on with that. I want this to be presentable. I know I'm a nerd that tinkers with electronics and computers and stuff, but I don't want it to be that obvious. So I think there is definitely a lot of rearranging that I can do. What I have in mind is a mixture of tons of zip bags and Sterilite drawers. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I think the best thing I could do to experiment with this, if I'm going to get one of those fancier Sterilite containers, use it as a clothes dresser, put the clothes in there, take the one that's in the bedroom right now with the clear drawers, and see how that looks for putting bags of parts in as well. Because I want, basically, you know, it's kind of tacky to have your socks and your underwear visible through the drawers, like, as if you really need that much of a reminder, as if you need that much of a reminder of how close you are to needing to do laundry, right? So, if I can get something a little bit lighter than a clothes dresser that can serve the function of a clothes dresser, like the Sterilite stuff I was looking at earlier, take that clear one out here, put parts in it, and be able to see, oh, this is in that drawer, that's in that drawer, without having to open up and rummage between all of them. So, definitely got some plans. It may look a little college plus when it's done, but yeah, this clutter isn't going to stay here. I just need to finish filling up the great sift tote and make another trip to the recycling place. We'll figure it out. And likewise, too, with things like that old bike seat down there, yeah, well, there's a couple of folks who ride bikes around here, maybe they'll want it or something, but the spare bike parts and the whole 9 yards, too. We'll get it organized. I think the big thing is just not having stuff out in the open, because it really sucks when you're trying to reach over the table and you're knocking over 6 or 7 things like that. What just fell? Oh, the lids. Oh, the lids. The lids from the totes that I no longer use as storage totes. Whatever. See what I mean? I think I can do much better with this place. And even though it is a geek house, I really think, plus, look at that tacky yellowed power bar. I can get a replacement for that easily. I might actually have a replacement for that. I just haven't brought it over. I gotta get everything where everything has a place. Everything has a home. Now, some of the folks who quietly watch what I do on here from the 9 to 5 might be like, well, Jay, are you 5S'ing your house? Well, number one, I believe in 6S, not 5S, which is 5S plus safety. Number two, if it's useful, who cares if I heard about it from a bunch of corporate muppets that are like, we need to leverage our synergies and execute and... But first things first, those curtains are too short. Whoever was here before me that left these curtains behind was an idiot that didn't know how to measure. We can fix that. More to come, folks. It may look like I'm just winterizing the Geekhouse here, but this all ties into the geeky narrative some way or another. Until next time, this is Multimedia Jay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.